Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to your hopeful elect. This is just going to be a walk and talk, lesson through the Spirit. I had to take a little evening stroll to clear my mind or whatnot, And again, just through the Spirit, as far as the lot that Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai has for each and every one of us, as we know, or as we should know, as far as our walk into the kingdom, and how it's not going to be a cakewalk. All right, it's not going to be anything easy. But just having to constantly remind ourselves how. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this, because this is something that's more and more been on my mind. I've been meditating on. As far as this mindset that we have to have moving forward, and it's a winning type mindset. All right. In the back of our minds, all right, just whatever situation comes about, because more and more it seems like, again, for each and every one of us is different, but more and more as we get closer and closer to that time, those David and Goliath moments that we all face each and every day, those big stumbling blocks or potential hindrances, all right, those Goliath moments are getting bigger and bigger. They're getting tougher and tougher, harder and harder, more and more difficult. And Lord willing, because I don't want to say that to put out any type of spirit of doubt or anything like that, because again, and this is something that starts from our apostles and on down, as far as this mindset that we have to have and the seriousness of the times that we're coming into, because again, it's not going to be a cakewalk, and things are going to more and more get difficult. All right, but nevertheless, as I said before, I'm probably going to keep saying it, because we refer to ourselves as a hopeful elect. All right, and as we know, the elect, they already had the victory. All right, they already won. And we've been bringing it out, brothers have been bringing it out over the past few weeks, as far as, like it talks about in Revelation, hold fast to that crown. All right, because again, it's already been fronted to us. We just got to hold on to it. We just got to hold on to it. But nevertheless, we're just remembering the fact that as far as what we have to deal with personally in our walk, I'm going to go ahead and get this in 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So you see, because there's plenty of counts where our forefathers, and it's not far-fetched, because they were living, walking, breathing testimonies of, again, every brother's situation is different, so it's not far-fetched. All right, we all have those moments. I didn't mention this And one of the videos that I did yesterday about how, you know, a lot of the afflictions that we go through, a lot of them for the most part, you know, it's almost like a repetitive cycle. You know, a lot of things the Lord, you know, we've been through before. You know, and it's not that it gets easier. It's just we become stronger. We become more resilient. All right. You see, we become more stern, and you know that's where the Lord wants us to be. All right. You see, but as I said, every now and then the Lord does hit you with some curveballs, and that's the point I was making with those David and Goliath moments, man. You know, because it's like more and more, them curveballs are coming more and more. You know, they're becoming more and more frequent because, you know, again, we are in the birth pains. You know, and I'm pretty sure that any woman that has given birth can tell you, you know, when it comes to those contractions or whatnot, man, hey, those cycles, they become more intense. You know, they hurt more. All right. And that's how it's supposed to be at the end. It's supposed to hurt more. It's supposed to feel like we're fighting for our lives, man. You know, because like the scripture says, strive for the truth unto death. All right. And as I quoted in Revelation, hold fast to that crown. When you hold fast onto something, man, hey, you're holding on to dear life. When you cleave, which that's what it tells in Sirach, Ecclesiastes, the second chapter, man, cleave unto Yahweh Shema Shah. When you cleave unto something, man, you're holding on to that, whatever it is, with dear life, as if your life depends on it. Because again, you know, our lives do depend on it. You see, our lives do depend on it, man. It is a matter of life and death. All right, that's not any type of figurative speech. That is all literal. Okay, it is a matter of life and death, man. But having this mindset, and this is what we are developing, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. More and more, we're developing this mindset. All right, that hey, man, you know, the Lord is with you. You know, the Lord is with me. You know, and trusting the process, because I just read it. I read it again. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh Basham Shai is faithful. You know, the Lord knows those that belong to him. All right. And his eyes are constantly, you know, upon the righteous. All right. We all have those hedge of protections about us, man. You know, our brothers in the spiritual realm, you know, they're right there with us, man. Because I did a video maybe some weeks ago, or whatever the case may be, about how as much as this walk and our walk, as much as it may appear to be lonely, listen, we have the whole holy host of angels rooting for us on our side. All right, the saints on earth, you know, the brothers scattered abroad. All right, we're all cheering for one another, you know. But also the saints in the heavens, man, the angels, they're right there. You know, like it says, the scriptures say, there's joy over one sinner that repenteth. All right, because hey, but the more the elect wake up, man, hey, the sooner we can get out of here. You know, so every elect brother that is reactivated, all right, hey, you know, it's a joyful thing. It's you know, it's one of those things. It's just like, man, one down, one to go, you know. And it's just like, finally, you know, we're you know, brothers are waking up, man. It's a cheerful thing, you know. But no, nevertheless, again, you know, it reminds me of that one scene with Ant-Man uh, the last one that just came out with Cain the Conqueror, you know. And this is how I picture that. I think it was like a post-credit scene, right? Where you had the different versions of Cain the Conqueror, and they were all in the stadium cheering, you know. And then that's how we all are in the spirit, man, you know. But again, not only that, the angels, the host of heaven, they're cheering for us. They're rooting for us. All right, Yahweh Shai, he's rooting for us. He's here with us in spirit, man. You know, because a part of why I wanted to do this lesson, man, this thing can become very disenchanting. You know, it can be very. It can get to the point where it's just like, man, what's the point of doing this? You know, the Lord ain't coming back no time soon, and whatever the case may be. All right, and this is why a lot of Jake, they fall out. It reminds me of this here. I'm gonna go to this in the book of Malachi, because this was a time period where, you know, I forget which captivity it was exactly. I got to brush up on that history, but if I'm not mistaken, basically this was a time period where Jake was pretty much, I could be wrong, but I think Jake was let back into the homeland, if I'm not mistaken. All right, and basically when you get into the history, and this has happened throughout time. All right, that's why Peter talked about it. You know, those that count the Lord for slack. All right, saying, where's the promise of his coming? You know, all things were since the fathers fell, you know, roughly paraphrasing, since the fathers went to sleep, roughly paraphrasing. You know, so this has happened throughout time, different time points in history, right, where Jake was anticipating, waiting on the Lord to return, you know, and things didn't happen on their timeline when they wanted it to, so Jake just said to hell with it, you know. So that's why I'm gonna go to this in Malachi, because this was one of those times where they were, you know, anticipating the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, right? But it didn't happen, and Jake that got comfortable, all right, they said to hell with it, you know, the Lord ain't coming back, so, you know, Jake, they got settled in captivity, all right. I'm gonna go to this in the book of Malachi. Bear with me real quick. I'm gonna read in chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 10. Who is there even among you that would shut the doors for naught? Neither do you kindle fire on mine altar for naught. I have no pleasure in you, saith the Lord of hosts. Neither will I accept an offering at your hand. For from the rising of the sun even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles. And in every place incense shall be offered unto my name. For my name shall be great among the heathen, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye profaned it, in that ye say, the table of the Lord is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even his meat, is contemptible. Ye said also, behold, what a weariness is it, and he that snuffed at it, saith the Lord of hosts, and ye brought that which was torn, and the lame, and the sick, thus ye brought an offering. Shall I accept this of your hand, saith the Lord? No, because basically, again, they were anticipating the second coming of Yahweh Shai. All right, they wanted it to happen then, it didn't. So Jake eventually just said to hell with it. All right, and you know, they just started, they got comfortable, they got complacent, you know, because the way that the sacrificial offering was to be done, it was to be done a certain way, certain animals without blemish, without spot, couldn't be lame or anything like that. But this is exactly what Jake started doing. They just said the hell with it. We're gonna start offering up like I said in verse 13. All right, I'm gonna read it again. Verse 13 again. Ye said also, behold, what a weariness is it, and ye have snuffed at it, saith the Lord of hosts, and ye brought that which was torn, and the lame, and the sick, thus ye brought an offering. Should I accept this of your hand, said the Lord? So you see, Jake, they got lazy. They just started saying the hell with it, offering up whatever the hell they wanted to offer up. All right, because again, the Lord didn't come at that, when they wanted him to at that time. Right, I'm gonna jump to chapter 3, Malachi 3. Malachi 3, starting at 13. Your words have been stout against me, said the Lord. Yet ye say, what have we spoken so much against thee? Ye have said, it is vain to serve Yahweh Shema Shai, and what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? And now we call the proud happy. Yea, they that work wickedness are set up. They that tempt Yahweh Shema Shai are even delivered. So the point was in verse 14. Again, it says, ye have said it is vain to serve Yahweh Shema Shai, and what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? So you see, Jake just got tired of serving Yahweh Shema Shai because it got disenchanting. You go a period of time where it's just like nothing's going on. It's just like, why the wicked? You look around, the wicked are prospering. They're having a good jolly old time, and here it is. We're doing what we're supposed to do. Man, the hell with it. That was Jake's attitude back then, and it's a lot of Jakes now. That's why you see a lot of Jakes. A lot of Jakes, man, they turn this thing into more than what it needs to be. All right, they want to add all the lavishness to it and the gimmicks, because Jake gets comfortable and they get complacent, and Jake gets disenchanted. And to bring it all back full circle, man, like I said, all right, it gets like that sometimes. We all get those moments, those feelings, those days where it's just like, you're low in energy, you're just feeling down, the depression demon, whatever the case may be. All right. And that's another thing I was mentioning yesterday as well. It's just like one calamity after another. It's just, it just gets to a point where it's just like, man, god damn, man. Tired of this shit. You get to a point where you don't feel like doing this no more. You don't want to do anything anymore, and whatever, man. But again, to bring it all back, because going back to this, I'm gonna read it again. Because again, just like I said before, reminding ourselves that whatever situation comes about, to have a winning type mindset. All right. The scriptures say that we are more than conquerors. So, and it's easier said than done, but having that type of mindset, like, man, I know the Lord's going to get me through the shit. I ain't got nothing to worry about. You just gotta, the scriptures talk about suffering patiently. You just gotta deal with the low. Take the low, man. Take whatever spiritual gems that you need to take out of this while you're going through the situation or situations. All right, but just remember, all right, 1 Corinthians 10 and 13 again. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh Shema Shai is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So again, just constantly reminding us of that, because we are stronger than we think. We're stronger than we think, and the Lord knows us. All right, so He's not gonna put in you more than what you can't handle, man. He's not gonna put on you more than what you can't, what you can deal with. All right, we all have our trials and tribulations specifically catered for us. And again, if we be at that number, we already had the victory. We already conquered this shit. It's just a matter of it playing out. It's just a matter of it playing out, right? But it says, but will, with the temptation, also make a way to escape. So you see, and again, the Apostle Tahar, he's been going into this definition of salvation. All right, and basically that's what that escape, because like the Apostle been bringing down that salvation, being escape from certain destruction. Now we see that on a lower form now. Which, like I said, whatever the situation may be for you personally, all right, but nevertheless, just remember, man, the Lord, He's not going to put on us more than what we can handle. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go to this. Matter of fact, before I go to that, I'm going to go to this. In Psalm 16:5, it says, "The Lord is the portion of mine inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot." So you see, whatever your lot is, like I said, we all have our hell that is specifically catered to us, and whatever it may be for each and every one of us, the Lord is going to give us the spirit to endure it, to go through it. All right, we're gonna be all right, man. We're gonna be all right, because going to here now in Matthew chapter 11, starting at verse 1. "And it came to pass, when Yahushua had made an end of commanding his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and to preach in their cities. Now when John had heard in the prison that the works of Hamashiach, he sent 2 of his disciples, and said unto him, Art thou he that should come, or do we look for another?" Because remember, this is talking about John the Baptist, all right? In his ministry, basically, when you go deeper into it, he was basically, because the priesthood or whatnot, that was for the for the Levites, and John, being a Levite of the descendant of Aaron, if I'm not mistaken, basically he was transferring, because all he preached was Yahushua, all right, follow Yahushua. John the Baptist, he was in fact baptizing people in the water, but that was only symbolic, all right, of the true baptism, which would come by being cleansed through the word. And when Yahushua came on the scene, he said, he told his disciples, basically everything that I was doing, it was cool, but there's one that's coming that I'm not even worthy to unlatch his shoes, roughly paraphrasing. And when Yahushua came on the scene, again, he told the disciples, that's the guy, that's who you need to follow. All right, that's what it's all about. So again, basically, John the Baptist, all right, he preached Yahushua. All right, now going back to this in Matthew 11, because verse 2 again. "Now when John had heard in the prison the works of Hamashiach, he sent 2 of his disciples," because at this time, John the Baptist, he was locked up. He was locked up. And like I was just saying, John the Baptist, he was preaching Yahushua. So when Yahushua came on the scene, he had to go send some of his disciples, right? Like I said in verse 3, and said unto him, these disciples of John the Baptist, they ask Yahushua, verse 3, and said unto him, art thou he that should come, or do we look for another? Because, we can only imagine what was going through John the Baptist's mind, We can only imagine, all right? Because, hey, this was a part of John's lot, what he had to go through, Because we can only speculate that, hey, John sitting in prison, right? Yahushua didn't visit him. He probably thought, more than likely, he thought that Yahushua was going to come and bust him out of there somehow, But it never happened. And when you look into this, John the Baptist, he actually ended up dying in prison. So we can only imagine what was going through John's head, right? But yeah, that was the point in that. Yeah, that was the point in that, all right? Because, there's no telling what was going through John's mind. Like, damn, I'm sitting in prison. And John wasn't sitting in prison for a few days. No, man. He was in there for some time. He was in there for a long time. And here it is, Yahushua's on the scene. Again, we can only imagine what was going through his head. He thought he was going to get out of there or something, He thought this was it, like finally. But he ended up dying in prison. So, But the point being that, hey, that was a part of his lot, like I said. And the point being, because as I read in Psalm, all right, being maintained in our lot, you see, Yahushua knew that John was going to be all right. Yahushua knew that John was going to be all right. Because again, the Lord's not going to put on us more than we can deal with, man. He's not going to put more on us than we can bear. You see? So Yahushua knew that John was going to be all right. As tough as it might have been, that might have been John the Baptist. Because it's, on another note, man, more and more having this mindset of, because we're all going to have to come to our darkest hour. We're all going to have to come to that moment, as I mentioned yesterday, in one of the videos I did yesterday. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, right? Which is to be translated, my power, why has thou forsaken me? We're all going to have those moments. And just speaking as a man, hey, that could have been John the Baptist. That could have been his moment where he thought that, hey, damn, am I forsaken? Did the Lord abandon me? But nevertheless, Yahushua knew that John was going to be all right. Yahushua knew that John was going to be all right. Because for us all, hey, listen, the Lord, he's not going to put on us more than we can deal with. And he's going to give us a spirit to bear whatever it is that we're going to deal with, man. He's going to maintain us in our lot. And, Lord willing, man, these be words of comfort. Because, again, moving forward, as we're coming closer and closer to that time, man, just be ready, get ready. It's tough, but it's only going to get tougher. So it's only going to get tougher, man. But we're going to be all right. All right, Yahweh Shema Shai knows we're going to be all right, man. Because we're built for this, man. All right, we're built for this. You see? So Lord willing, this is edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Shema Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully elect. Lord willing, continue the next one. Shalom.